This
about the
conference will
concept
now
of
be recorded.
yesterday you have discussed about the concept of bootstrapping and the user data, right? So you have written some script and did some automation here, and also you have get the respective website which was installed in the completely Apache here. Now here today we'll continue about the respective one of the topic, right? Continue about the respective one of the topic here, which is nothing but like EAP, elastic IP address. EAP, elastic IP address here. So now here, what is the purpose of elastic IP address and what does it do? And why should they need to use the elastic IP address? And what is the limitations here? What is the limitations here? So these things will going to be discussed here. Right? What is the limitations here? These things will going to be discussed here. So we'll see how it's going to be happening. The first thing here is, right? The first thing here is you need to understand about the, right? The first thing here is you need to understand about the why EAP is needed. So if you observe that I have an Apache server here, right? If you observe that I have an Apache server here. So now here in this Apache server, you have a networking where the public IP address here is 35.154.212.168. 35.154.212.168. This is the public IP address. I'll mention this one as EIP. I'd like to name as elastic IP address. So here I have an IP address here. Right here I have an IP address here 35.154.212.168. So in this you have the public IP address one, right? Public IP address one. So now here this is before instance starting. This is before starting of the instances. And here, secondly, you need to understand here when I stop these respective instances, go for the actions, go for the stop. When I stop these respective instances, this is going to be completely going to be stopped here. So now here I would like to go with the check the IP address here. Still it is in stopping state. Still it is in stopping state. So now still it is in stopping state here. So now if you observe that once it got stopped, right, the public IP address is disabled, actually disappeared, right? The public IP address is completely disappeared. Once it's called stop, the public IP address is completely disappeared here. But how the starting the respecting start the instances here. Let's start the instances here. Then I'm again starting the instances. If you observe that once it has been starting the instances, the IP address got changed. It is now into, after starting the instances, it is now into 65.0.6.136. Here you have an public IP address here is 65.0.6.136. 6.136 here. This is after starting the instances. This is after starting the instances. Starting the instances. Right. This is after starting the instances. This is one main important thing. This is after starting the instances. This is one main important thing. So now you need to understand here, the IP address is not the static. The IP address is not static. The IP address is not static. The IP address is not static here. The IP address is dynamic. The IP address is dynamic here. Is dynamic. The IP address is dynamic here. The IP address is dynamic here. The IP address is dynamic here. So now here, in my case here, so I need a static IP address. Here, I need a static IP address here. Right here, I need a static IP address here. So now here, if I need a static IP address here, so what I need? I need to choose a, right? I need to choose a, right? I need to choose a elastic IP address, right? So elastic IP address will connect to any EIP, sorry, any ENI. So now here ENI is nothing but elastic network interface, right? Elastic network interface. Right? ENI is nothing but elastic network interface. Right? ENI is nothing but elastic network interface here. So this is one main important thing here. ENI here, elastic network interface here. So you can attach to the any of the ENI. This is nothing but ENI is nothing but the NIC card, right? You guys are aware, right? What is NIC card here, right? ENI is nothing but the NIC card here. So now here you need to understand here. So now here you need to understand here. This EAP you can, for one account you will have 5 ENI IP address, right? 5 ENI IP address you can have. And if you want to extend the respective ENI, you need to go with the respective AWS service request. You need to go with the respective AWS service request here. AWS service request. You need to go with the AWS service request here. That is one main important thing. You need to go with the AWS service request. That is one main important thing. So this is how it's going to be happen. Right? AWS service request. That is one main important thing here. So now here, go with the respective ENI, purchase the respective elastic interface here, network interface, allocate an elastic IP address, allocate here. So name equal to, so here I would like to go with the elastic IP address, save. Now here, go for the actions, associate the elastic IP address. To which instances I am associating with the respective Apache instances. Respective Apache instances. Like associate with the respective Apache instances here. So that is one main important thing. Associate with the respective Apache instances. That is one main important thing here. The one which you guys need to understand. So now here, if you go with the respective instances here, the previous IP address, right? The previous IP address, it is automatically going to be removed, and it's going to be attached to the respective, right? Respective new IP address. The previous IP address is automatically going to be removed, and it's going to be attached to the this newly, right? This newly Apache instances. So now here, this is one main important. Right? This is one main important thing here. So now here, even though I can able to connect to my respective instances, I can able to connect to my respective instances with the help of ENI. So even though I have shut down my instances, even though if I'm shut down my instances here, even though if I have shut down my instances here, my elastic IP address is going to be remains constant actually. It will not going to be changed. It will not going to be changed. Right? This is called this is the purpose of elastic IP address. It will help you to provide a static IP address for any kind of ENI, elastic network interface. For example, you have an EC2 instances, right? For example, you have an EC2 instance, and you need a static IP address. You can purchase the elastic IP address, and you can associate to the respective EC2 instances, so that even though when you stop the instances, when you start the instances for any of the maintenance activities, even though for your any of the maintenance activities, when you start the instances and when you stop the instances, right? You guys are can able to completely, you guys are completely getting the static IP address here. Now here, now here, now here, you need to understand here that in the real-time environment, the use cases of elastic IP address here, the use cases of elastic IP address here. The first thing here is you will going to be get an elastic IP address for an the respective EMI for an EC2 instances, right? And you will get an elastic IP address for your respective NAT gateway, for your respective NAT gateway here, for your respective NAT gateway. These are the four things actually, right? These are the four things actually you guys need to understand here. These are the four main things you guys need to understand here. The first one is with the respective EC2 instances you guys are generally use, and the second thing is with you guys are going to be use the NAT gateway, right? You guys are going to use the respective NAT gateway, respective NAT gateway. Am I clear on this? Any questions? Any doubts? Right? What is the limitations here? How many elastic IP address you will get for one account? By default, 5. By default, 5. If you want to increase, you need to raise a request to the respective AWS line. So now here you have one more main important concept you guys are going to be right discussing here right now. You call this one as an security groups. You call this one as an security groups here, right? First thing here, security groups acts like an virtual firewall. Security groups acts like an virtual firewall. Security group acts like an virtual firewall here. So the one main important thing that you guys need to understand about the security groups here. Security groups acts like an virtual firewall here. So the firewall will going to be help us to filter the incoming and outgoing traffic. The firewall will filters incoming and outgoing traffic here. Right, firewall will going to be filter incoming and outgoing traffic. Will filters incoming and outgoing traffic here. We call this one as ingress and egress. We call this one as ingress or egress here. We call this one as an ingress or egress here. This is one main important. We call this one as an ingress or egress here. This is one main important. Ingress is nothing but inbound, or we call this one as incoming traffic, and egress is nothing but outbound, right? Egress is nothing but outbound. We call this one as an outgoing traffic, right? We call this one as an outgoing traffic, right? We call this one as an outgoing traffic here. The security groups acts like a virtual firewall. The firewall will filter the incoming and outgoing. Generally, you have a ports actually, right? The ports are of two types actually. The first one here is right hardware ports. The first one is with hardware ports, which is nothing but NIC code, or which is nothing but respective ENI, or which is nothing but the respective, right, sorry, NIC codes, or the USB, or any kind of the hardware devices, hardware ports actually, like NIC code, ESP. And coming to the second one, you have a software ports actually. You have a software ports here. So which is going to be value here as 0 to 65,535. 535 here. 0 to 65,535 here. You call this one as a 0 to 65,535 here. So this is the port range here, 0 to 65,535. This is the software port. The first thing here is you guys need to remember few services default port number. The services and default port number. The services and the default port number. The first thing here is you need to understand about the SSH 22 and HTTPD 80. Right, HTTPD 80. And here HTTPS 443. Right, HTTPS 443. FTP file transfer protocol 21. SMTP 25. SMTPS 465 or the 587. Right, 465 or the 587. 465 or the 587 here. And then the next one here, you have one more thing called here, the main Apache Tomcat 8080. So Apache Tomcat with SSL. With SSL, it's 8443. Right, Apache Tomcat with SSL 8443. Right, Apache Tomcat with SSL 8443 here. Apache Tomcat with SSL 8443. And you have an Nginx. This is also a web server. This is also called 80 here. And this is also called 80 here. So this is one main important. This is also called 80 here. This is one main important thing here. And you also have one more thing called, right? You also have one more thing here. Right? You also called as one more thing called databases actually, which is nothing but MySQL 3306. Right? MySQL 3306. MS SQL 1433. 1433. So POP3 110. POP3 110. Right? POP3 110 here. IMAP 143. Right? IMAP 143 here. Right? IMAP 143 here. So now here, you guys need to remember all these port numbers here. So you guys need to remember all these port numbers here. Just give me a second, guys. So you guys need to remember all these port numbers actually. This is by default. You guys need to remember all these port numbers here. This is one main important thing here that you need to understand. Right. So now here in the security group, in the firewall, you guys may allow or deny the respective, may allow or deny the respective, may allow or the deny the respective ports, either with the incoming traffic or either with the outgoing traffic, either with the incoming traffic or either with the outgoing traffic. So we'll see how it's going to be happen. So now here, either with the incoming traffic or either with the outgoing traffic. We'll see how it's going to be happen here. So now here, I'm going to create a few rules for the security group. So I will only allow the respective port 22. So port 22 is for SSH, right? I want to allow the port 22, which is an SSH service here. I want to allow the port 22, which is an SSH service here, right? Which is a SSH service here. So now here with this SSH service, right? With this SSH service, I have three options here, right? I have three options here. The first option is with, I have three options here. The first option is with, I can allow with anywhere. I can allow with anywhere here. That means anywhere in the sense, all the IP address 0.0.02 slash 0 colon slash 0. Right. I can allow all the IP address, including IPv4 and IPv6, including IPv4 and IPv6. So I can able to allow all the IP address, including IPv4 and IPv6 here. And secondly, I need to allow, right? Secondly, I need to allow here with regards to only the custom IP address, right? SSH, only the custom IP address, right? Custom IP address here. For example, only the specific range 192.168.0.0/16. Only for my the office address. Only for the custom IP address I can able to allow. Custom IP address I can able to allow. That is one main important custom IP address that I need to allow. And secondly, right? And secondly, I need to allow. Right? Secondly, I can able to allow only the specific IP address. Right? Only the specific IP address. For example, SSH. Specific IP address. For example, 192.168.0.0 slash 1.0 1.1 slash 32, right? Slash 32. That is one main important thing. Slash 32. That is one main important thing here. Specific IP address I can able to allow. Right? Specific IP address I can able to allow here. Specific IP address I can able to allow. So like that, I can able to allow only the specific IP address here. Like that, I can able to allow only the specific IP address here. So this is how it's going to be happen. Right? Specific IP address, and this is how it's going to be happen here. So am I clear on this? You have three options. One is with anywhere, second one is custom, and third one is with respective specific IP address. There are three options are available right now. Am I clear? Any questions, any doubts in the respective? the
What is
secretary
the
here.
difference between the custom and the specific IP address?
Yeah. So here, if you observe that I have used the /16 here, and here I have used the /32 here. So this is I'm going to explain you a bit detailed manner in our VPC section, but to understand now, so you need to go with an IP subnet calculator /24, right? So here if I'm given as 192.1.168.1.0/24 here, so here I have given the /32, or sorry, /16 I have given. So if you observe that the /16 if I have given here, so I have an 65,534 IP address will be there, right? 65,534 IP address are there. That means I am allowing these many IP address to my SSH port, right? I am allowing these many IP address to my SSH port actually. If I am using only 32, if I am using only for 32 here, I have only one host IP address here. If I am using only for 32, I have using one host IP address here, only one host. Am I clear on this? Only this one, this host I am been allowing here. So that is called custom, means a group of IP address, a group of IP address at this moment, right? Because this is the subnet concept here. I will discuss in the networking part more detailed manner. But here to make you understand what you mean by custom means a group of IP address. Whereas specific IP address means only one particular IP address you are allowing. So that's how it's going to be happen here, right? That's how it's going to be happen here. So now here, you guys need to understand about. Pramod asking what is difference between IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is an 32-bit. So this is called previous generation IP address. IPv6 is nothing but 128-bit, right? However, you are using only IPv4 at this moment. Current generation you are using IPv4. IPv6 is not that familiarly used. Right? IPv6 is not familiarly used here. IPv6 are not familiarly used here. So this is one main important thing that you guys need to understand. Am I clear on this? So however, this I will discuss what do you mean by IPv4, IPv6, right? Public IP address, private IP address, NAT gateway. This all things will going to be having the detailed section in our coming networking section, right? But the security groups are very important. So you are using this, right? That is one main important thing. And secondly, you guys need to understand about, so look at here. As I said earlier, you have two topics here, two traffics here. One is with incoming traffic and second one is outgoing traffic. So this is called incoming traffic with respect to instances here, incoming traffic. This is your respect to security group. This is your respect to security group here. And this is you have attached to your respect to EC2 instances, the security group. And this is your nothing but the outgoing traffic. Right, this is even nothing but the outgoing traffic here. Incoming, the security group, EC2, outgoing traffic here. So now here, the security group acts like a virtual firewall here. All the incoming traffic from the external world, right? All the incoming traffic for the external world, right? All the incoming traffic from the respect to external world is going to be scrutinized over the incoming view. So that is one main important thing, right? That is one main important thing here. All the incoming traffic with respect to the security groups is going to be filtered here. That is one main important thing here. Right. So now here, the incoming traffic in the sense from the outside to entering into your system, from the outside to entering into your respective system, you guys are considering as an incoming traffic. Right. If suppose I am calling you, if suppose Ganesh Shenmukh calling to Pramod, right? If suppose Shenmukh calling to Pramod, suppose Shenmukh calling to Pramod here. It is nothing but a incoming call to Pramod. For Shenmukh, it is an outgoing call. Right? What I'm trying to say is, if suppose Shenmukh is calling to Pramod here, this is outgoing call to this guy, and this is the incoming call to this guy. Similarly, whenever a outside traffic hitting is your respective resources, similarly, the outside traffic is hitting to your respective resources. You consider this one as an, right? You consider this one as an, right? You consider this one as an incoming traffic. Similarly, from the EC2 instances to hitting to the outside world, you consider this one as an outgoing traffic. You consider this one as an outgoing traffic here. So that's how it's going to happen. Outgoing traffic here. So that's how it's going to be happen here. So now here, by default, outgoing traffic you guys are allowed, right? By default, the outgoing traffic you guys are going to be allowed actually by default. By default, the outgoing traffic is going to be allowed actually by default. By default, the outgoing traffic is going to be allowed actually. So now here, if you are by default, if you have allowed the outgoing traffic, right, you need to restrict only the incoming traffic, right? So how many ways you can get, guys are going to be restrict your traffic with the help of ports actually. 0 to 65,535 ports you guys are having. So whatever port you want to allow, you guys are going to allow, and whatever ports you guys are going to default, by default it will deny all the ports, right? By default it will deny all the ports actually. So that is the strategy. By default it will deny all the ports. So by default it will deny all the ports actually. Only the thing is whatever the ports you want to allow, you need to allow. By default it will block all the ports. So now here I have allowed only 22 and have allowed only 80. If suppose I am trying to connect to the respective, if suppose I am trying to connect to the respective colon 8080, it got blocked actually. You are not able to access the port. That you are not able to access that port actually. It got blocked. You are not right? You will not access that respective port actually. So this is one main important thing, right? This is one main important thing that you guys need to understand. See here, there is no data and there is no services running in this respective one. So generally in the real-time environment, when the port was not allowed, when the port was not allowed, the port was not allowed actually. When the port was not allowed, you need to getting the errors like, right? Errors like connection refused, connection refused, and connection reset, connection reset, right? Network connection timeout, network connection timeout, right? Network connection timeout. All these things are going to be considered as the respective, right? All these things are going to be considered as the respective connection issues, right? All these things are going to be connected as respective connection issues actually. This is one main important thing that you guys need to understand, right? Connection. This is one main important thing that you guys need to understood here. Connection refuse, connection reset, and network connection timeout here. So this is one thing you guys are suspect when there is an errors are like this: connection refuse or connection reset or network connection timeout, right? You guys are considered like this actually, right? You guys are considering like this actually, right? There is an issue with the respective ports. Now here I'm going to be assigned the respective the own security group here, right? I'm going to create a own security group here, and I'm trying to associate with the respective and try to associate with the respective and try to associate with the respective the security group to the instances here. Any questions, guys? Am I clear on this? Any questions here? You'd like to ask me? Any questions, guys? So I can consider silence as no questions. Can I consider that? Yes, you are right. Security groups will be there for the outgoing as well. That's what I said, right? By default, outgoing traffic and incoming traffic are going to be there. Incoming traffic, it will by default, it will block. Outgoing traffic, it will not going to be block actually. So now here, let's create a security group here. So launch the instances here. So launch the instances here. T2 micro. So enable the public IP address here. Name equal to production icon EC2 here. and review and launch the instances here. So download the respective key pair here. So launch instances here. So now here in this respective security group, you can associate up to 50 rules. That means you can associate the inbound rules as 50 and outbound rules as 50. You can associate up to 50 rules you can associate here. You can associate up to 50 rules here. This is one main important thing here you guys need to understand. You can associate up to 50 rules. Right. So one security group can able to associate up to 50 rules. One security group can associate up to 50 incoming and 50 outgoing rules actually. 50 incoming and 50 outgoing rules. Right. So by default, the security groups, right? By default, the security groups can have, by default the security groups will block the incoming traffic with the all ports 0 to 65,535. It will block all the ports actually. By default, the security group will block the incoming traffic, which is nothing but 0 to 65,535 ports. It will block. As a AWS admin, you need to explicitly open the security group. Explicitly open the security group. You need to explicitly open the respective security group here. So that is one main important thing. That is one main important thing. So that's how it's going to be happen here. Right. So that is one main important thing. So now here, outgoing traffic from your respective resources to outside world, by default it is open. Right? Outgoing traffic by default it is going to be open actually. Outgoing traffic by default, this is going to be open actually by default. By default, the outgoing traffic is open, because you can block your incoming calls, right? You can block your respective incoming calls, but if you don't want, you cannot block your respective outgoing. If you don't want to do, you are not doing actually. That's it, right? There is no option to block your outgoing calls, right? But here there is an option to block your respect to outgoing traffic as well, right? You can also manage some rules. That is also I'm going to showcase. So now here, the scenarios in your real-time environment, most of the time you guys are going to be work in the security groups, right? The task which related to the task with related to security group. The first thing here is the task with related to the security group. The first thing here is task related to with respect to. So your manager asked to open 422 with specific IP address, and he have given some IP address like 192.168.1.0/24 specific IP address range. And open here, open port 443 with custom IP address is custom IP address range, which is nothing but 172.443 with anywhere. Let's consider with anywhere, which is 0.0.0.0/0 here. Now here open port with 8080 with specific IP address Here you have an 192.168.1.2/32. And fourth one, open the port range with 3000 to 3500 with the range of 172 dot, right, 168.0.0/16, right, 0.0/16 here. This is one main important thing here. 0.0/16. This is one main important thing that you guys need to understand here. Right, 170.168.0.0/16 with one main IP address here. So this is what you guys need to do. Right? This is what you guys need to do. So now here, let's create a security group. The task is clear, right? Any questions, any doubts here? You need to open a port 22 with specific IP address range.
Yeah, so the IP address is the IP of the source, source system from where the request is coming in.
Yes. You're right. You're understanding.
Okay. So other IPs cannot access if I provide a single IP address, specific IP address in the case of specific address.
Yes.
Others cannot access, right? Okay, got it.
This is one main important that you guys need to understand. And secondly, you guys need to understand here. And secondly, you guys need to understand about how to create a security group here. Create a security group. and prod-security group here. So now here, this is the one. So what is the task which I have given? So this is the 22 here. So SSH 22 and IP address, this is the range. You need to use the custom, and this is the one. Custom, and this is the one. Specific IP address range. Right, specific IP address range. Right, specific IP address range. Then secondly, you have an respective HTTPS here. And here you have an anywhere with the IPv4. Right, anywhere with the IPv4. And secondly, you have an 8080 with specific IP address. That is good question, Uday, that I am going to be discussed with the help of NACLs or with the help of WAF over the application layer. So here, this is going to be helpful for you. So custom, see, look at here. This is 8080. 8080, leave it as 8080. Respective custom, and this is the one 192.168.1.2/32. And here, and the range of 3000 to 3500. 3000 to 3500. And this is the one with the specific 172.168.0.0/60. Now save it. Create a security. Now here, these security group you need to associate with your respective EC2 instances. So you can attach the respective two or more security groups. One or more security groups you can attach it to the respective EC2 instance. Go for the respective actions, right? Instance settings. So now here, go for the networking here. Go for the security. Change the security group here. You can remove it and you can associate this respective security prod security group. Save it. Add the security group and you can save it. That is how it's going to happen. Right? You can associate it. Like that, you can create a security group and you can associate the respective security. So these are the daily tasks with regards to the security group you will get. Specific IP address, specific range of IP address 3000 to 3500, right? Specific range of IP address and specific customized ports, right? All these things you should aware of it. Am I clear? Any questions, any doubts here? Am I clear, guys? Any questions, any doubts?
When it comes to this outgoing traffic rules, so what are the use cases? Like, how can we set like the destination here?
For which one?
For the outbound rules.
See, outbound rules by default, all traffic going to be allowed, right? And if you don't want all traffic should be going to be allowed, you can restrict to the specific IP address range. Suppose custom IP 3306 should allow only on 192.168 0.0/60. And similarly, the custom IP address, which is nothing but 5432, should be allowed only on 10.10.0.0/60.
So this is the remote port.
Yeah, this is the remote source IP address. So only this remote source IP address you can able to allow. Rest all the traffic by default is going to be denied.
Okay.
Right. Any questions, guys? Any questions, guys, here? Uday, Pramod, Banu, Rohini, Sweta, Trineni. Guys, if you ask, see, there are two perspectives. See, why I'm asking any questions in the sense, here this is a virtual class actually, right? I cannot check your facial expressions, whether you guys are able to understanding or not, what is your thought process here. I cannot able to judge without this virtual error, right? So that is one thing you guys need to understand.
So one more question, like instead of this range, right, for the inbound rules, so we can allow only one, let's say I have another instance from where the request will come in. So I can configure that port only, right? At that IP address.
Yeah. Yeah. So for that, you need to use /32. Only one IP address, only one host here. That's what I said, /32. That is called specific IP address range.
But how can I configure the specific IP? Means this is some range, right? 192.168.
No, this is specific IP only. /32 in the sense specific IP address only. See, 192.168.1.1 is the specific IP address, and this is only one host.
Okay, that means any IP followed by 32, right?
See, listen carefully. 192.168.1.1 /32, meaning of the /32 is only the specific IP address it will going to allow. It will not range. Look at here. How many hosts is minimum? 192.168.1.1. And what is the max? 192.168.1.1. That means what IP address is going to allow?
Only this IP 192.161.
Yes. You got my answer.
Yeah, got it.
Any questions, any doubts, guys? Apart from this, if there is any range that will accept all the ranges, it will accept. No, if by default it will accept all the traffic. Pramod. Sorry, by default it will block all the traffic. You need to allow the request access for your respective. You need to allow by your own. Whatever the ranges you want to allow, you need to allow. By default, it will allow all the. By default, it will block all the traffic. If you want to, like if you want to allow it, you need to allow it. That's it. Any other questions, guys? See, 0.0 that is not going to be there, Pramod. So don't 0.0 is not a valid actually. The thing is, I will explain these things. What is /32? /32 is like what do you mean by /32 and what is and what is the purpose of /32 that I will explain in the subnet. As of now, that is not a valid IP address. 0.0. If you use this 0.0/64, it is an invalid one actually. Illegal value of your network mask. IPv4 only how many octets are there? 32 octets are only available. IPv4, right? Only 32 bits are available. Only 4 octets, right? That I will discuss more briefly. Okay, guys. Thanks for your time. So we will connect by tomorrow. Thank you.